I'm Keith Becker from DD's Rentals. Over the course of the last year, the City Council in Santa Rosa has been busy, has been intentionally attempting to craft a rent control ordinance because of the disparity between supply and demand, the lack of housing in Santa Rosa, and what that has done to rents, because rents have gone up. Over the course of the last 4 years, there are many surveys and analyses that indicate that over a 4-year period, rents have gone up by 40% or more. The City of Santa Rosa is in the midst of creating an ordinance which is intended to be a permanent structure by which there will be a rent control program in place to protect a certain portion of tenants in the city. In the meantime, however, they are and have executed what is considered and classified as a moratorium. Now, this video, was created in the middle of May 2016, and the fact is that this is a rapidly changing and developing situation. The question that you may have is, what is this moratorium? What does it mean? The moratorium is effectively a freeze on rent increases that goes into effect and will stay in place while the City of Santa Rosa takes the necessary time to actually create the ordinance itself, because the ordinance cannot be created on the spot. It will take time for them to put it into place. In the meantime, however, the council is concerned that if they take 3 months, 5 months to institute the ordinance, create the ordinance, pass the ordinance, in the meantime, evil landlords can continue to raise rents astronomically, excessively. So the moratorium is designed to mirror some of the intended expectations of what the ordinance itself will be. What does that mean? On May 10th, the first reading and the vote on this moratorium went into effect at the City Council meeting. It effectively is going to be in place starting as of June 18th. And how it mirrors the ordinance is that it will say that if you have a property that falls under the auspices of rent control, multi-unit building built before 1995, and it has to be larger than a duplex. I've got another video that explains what properties fall under and don't fall under, so you might want to check that one out to understand better. However, if you are affected by rent control, you cannot institute a rent increase of more than 3% over the course of a 12-month period. And as I said, it starts as of June 18th. If you did a rent increase, let's just say on March 1st of 2016, the moratorium goes into effect June 18th, you can't say, as of June 18th, I have an additional allowance to add an additional 3%. If you already have an increase exceeding 3%, and I say exceeding because there's a question of whether a rent increase in excess of 3% is going to ultimately be allowed. This is complicated. It's messy. There's a lot of details that have yet to be cleared up. However, if you've already put into effect a rent increase in 2016, you will not be allowed an additional one. The moratorium will allow 3% in any 12-month period. It is effectively for a 45-day period initially, but it can be extended and likely will be extended as much as 6 months out, until such time as the city manager, the city office, puts together the ordinance, can submit it to council for council's approval and vote. It is likely to be approved. There's no reason to believe otherwise. There are many details associated with this issue. What properties are affected? What is the moratorium? What's the ordinance likely to look like? And what is the concept of just cause eviction? I'm covering those in other videos. Take a look at any or all of them if this is something that's of concern to you. Or alternately, if you've got questions about rent control or any other issues, don't hesitate to call me. I'm Keith Becker from DD's Rentals.